everybody, I'm Jackie Jing, and I'm with the showrunner of Castlevania, Adi Shankar. We are loving Castlevania. Thank you so much for joining us, but you have a big announcement for us.
It's 3 letters.
Okay.
D M C. Devil May Cry. I've acquired these rights myself so that the jabronis in Hollywood can't this one up too.
Bro thought he was gonna be a Hideo Kojima. Instead, he pulled a Chris Chan.
The way this usually goes is I do that, then drop a killer one-liner. But I'm drawing a complete blank right now. This never happens to me, I swear. Okay, wait, I got one. Pretend I just shot that guy. Bang! Man, Skeletor did not hold up since the 80s.
Devil May Cry is Netflix's latest adaptation based on a video game because Gen Z and millennials just can't get enough of this stuff. We are just eating this stuff up. And it was made by the esteemed Adi Shankar, the same guy behind Castlevania. The incredible, amazing show that Castlevania was had me place a lot of faith in this man. Needless to say, I don't think he necessarily delivered on this one. Adi Shankar, I respect you as a visionary, but holy crap, you have the most surface level understanding of Devil May Cry that I have ever seen. In my life. So it's loosely adapted from Devil May Cry 3 and its prequel manga, but I would honestly call it more of a reinvention of the franchise, the same way Transformers is, how Transformers keeps reinventing itself every new series that comes out, and now the movies too. If you watch Rise of the Beast, it's actually a reinvention of the movies, and a reinvention of the Transformers franchise as a whole. Ultimately, I think that's what Adi here was trying to do here, and if that was the intent, I can respect that, but ultimately, as a diehard Devil May Cry fan, this is not what we wanted, man. This is just not it. I mean, the main villain just casually has a bunch of big-time bosses that we fought throughout the game series just in the back of a truck. Also, White Rabbit's plan doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. If you're trying to get your people away from the danger that's in hell, why are you trying to bring over the monsters from that same hell over here and using them as a way to conquer the United States? I don't know. That's one thing I don't think he really got a hold of. Also, there's nothing wrong with using self-insertion for White Rabbit. I understand that you saw yourself in that character, but at the same time, I just don't think you wrote him as contradictory as you probably should have. There's just some things that I don't think you necessarily touched on enough. You're not a bad filmmaker by any stretch. I think you were a fantastic, fantastic choice for some things. Just Devil May Cry is just not necessarily your strong suit, and I don't mean that by any offense at all. And Lady, too. Oh my god, Lady. What were you thinking making her cuss so much, dude? She says fuck like every sentence. Every sentence she has to curse.
Happen to be walking around with half the key to fucking hell on your neck? What the fuck was that? This dumb fuck devil spawn has no idea it's leading us right to it. Let's go get this carrot-munching motherfucker.
And remember, kids, cussing doesn't make you cool. And the fact that she literally steals the show. Literally steals the show from Dante. She stole the show from him. Like, it literally just becomes that meme featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series in favor of the Lady show. She's up there girl bossing, she's the coolest one, and she's overpowered, and she outshines Dante and literally makes Dante look like a dumbass for the rest of the series. The Lady sidelines Dante for the rest of the show until the end, where we get that really nice 2D Devil Trigger scene and actually slays White Rabbit at the end. it was pretty crispy. That part was pretty crispy. But I will say the action was really nice, especially that highway scene. That was probably the most Devil May Cry part of the entire show. The techno last resort thing, and then the whole damn he's cool. That part was pretty hype. I enjoyed that. Yeah, so needless to say, I really enjoyed the action. When the action was on and it was really fun, it was really fun. That post-credit scene at the end with Virgil, totally saw it coming. Totally saw that coming. Saw it coming from a mile away. This show just gets a lot wrong, and I noticed how you said you were going to try to capture the soul of the IP on your YouTube channel banner. Yeah, you can go and look on his channel, the Adi Shankar YouTube channel. Excuse my lispy tartarness. And it says that he's trying to capture the soul of the IP on his animation banner, or his animation side of his production. You did not capture the soul of the IP. This is the most soulless thing you've ever made. This is really, really soulless. You've got so much wrong about Devil May Cry. You really got so much of this wrong. And like I said, I choose to look at this show as a reinvention and not some sort of screw up by the filmmaker. Although I really wish it was an adaptation of Devil May Cry that was done really closely to the source material and not just taking a whole bunch of stuff from the source material and just switching it around. You had my hopes up, man. You really did. And I'm truly disappointed with how this turned out. You didn't even bring back Ruben. You didn't even bring him back. Lady is a 14-year-old edgelord who won't stop cursing. You've just got all the bosses from every game, and you just made them glorified minions of a villain you actually didn't even get right in the first place. White Rabbit was a full demon, for one, and he wasn't even actually a human, ever. He was just a puppet of Arkham, I think. Correct me on that if I'm wrong. But I know that the way they adapted him in this show is not who he is in the manga. He's not really even a big threat, a big villain. I mean, yeah, he's still technically a demon, but he wasn't even really a big overarching antagonist. Also, you had to pull from Rings of Power. You tried to humanize demons. Demons from hell. Monsters. That's doing what the orcs did in Rings of Power. You're trying to humanize the demons, the very thing that Dante fights against, and you're ultimately defeating the purpose of his job. He's a demon hunter. Come on, man. Really? This would have been a really interesting political show if it just wasn't centered around Devil May Cry or demons or anything, or just literally just take the premise and just, I don't know, make something entirely original out of it, and it probably would have been a better show. Like I said, I think this is a decent show, but not a decent adaptation of Devil May Cry. You really kind of fumbled the bag here. I'm just letting you know. I respect you as a visionary, but ultimately Devil May Cry, it's just not your thing. You just don't get it. You really just don't get it. And I want to talk about the Virgil reveal scene at the end of the show. I knocked out all 8 episodes. It took me 4 hours to knock out all 8 episodes, and I will say that post-credit scene, I predicted it. I knew you were going to do that, because at the beginning of the show, it literally does a bait and switch. You know, the lamer cover of Buried the Light plays at the end, and it's Virgil wearing the Nello Angelo armor, a really roughly designed version of it, I may say. And he just shows up, he does the judgment cut, which, that gave it away completely. That's a giveaway if I've ever seen one. And he goes, "Your King Mundus grants you your freedom." And then, you know, "I am that storm." just reveals it, and, you know, he's this big anticlimactic, no, this big dramatic reveal, not anticlimactic, ignore that. This big dramatic reveal, and that it's Virgil, and that's what we're getting in Season 2, baby. We're gonna get that big showdown between Dante and Virgil, and it's gonna be this big reveal. Brother, you were never truly dead. Yeah, because he's under the belief that he's actually dead, which I think is accurate to the games, if I remember correctly. But, no, yeah, we gotta get another season of this. And hopefully Season 2, you tweak it around enough to where it really does start to feel more like the games and less like a reinvention of the lore. This really disappointed me. I was really, really hoping that this could fit nicely in the canon, but at the same time, that if it was going to be its own thing, it would be a very faithful adaptation of Devil May Cry 3. Because after all, you said you were basically adapting this, but you're kind of adapting everything. Matter of fact, after watching this, I feel like you have a better understanding of the reboot. Yeah, the reboot. More than the actual lore of Devil May Cry. After watching this show, I feel like you would have had a better understanding of the reboot than the actual lore. I mean, he literally wears this version of Dante's necklace, and half the show, it's the MacGuffin. They're trying to steal Dante's necklace, which is apparently a family heirloom, and they're trying to use it as a way to stop White Rabbit. I feel like you would have had better chances adapting this fucking game than the actual lore itself. So, you have really good action in a lot of the scenes, decent animation, but it still gets so much wrong. Dante isn't really Dante, he's Nero. Lady is a 14-year-old edgelord that thinks cussing is cool. White Rabbit, a character that literally appeared in like 2 pages of a manga, is now the biggest overarching antagonist ever since Urizen and Devil May Cry 5. And it's now a political propaganda story about humanizing demons. And religion is apparently bad, which not... he says, you say, isn't the theme, but it's clear that President Baines himself, the big vice president guy that gives off Senator Armstrong vibes, in my opinion, he's obviously going to be the bad guy. Which, by the way, it's also why I think you pulled from the reboot a little bit. I feel like you got a better understanding of the reboot than you do the actual... this! You really kind of let me down. Especially after Castlevania, I was so happy. I was like, yes, I just know you're going to get it. I went back, I played everything. I even have the HD collection. I went and I played it all. Reboot, everything, because I knew you might have been pulling from everything. And you definitely pulled from everything, but oh man, I didn't know you were going to twist it up like this. I look forward to seeing Virgil at least. Oh, and give Lady her new costume. Her old costume, I mean. This new costume you got going on, which is like a reference to Commandos or some older retro Capcom game from the 80s or whatever. Yeah, do away with all that. We don't want that. We don't care for it. Just go back to designing the characters like they are in Devil May Cry, get their personalities right, and just do this series some justice. Oh, and I shit you not, at the very end of the series, at the very end of it all, they play Green Day, American Idiot, by fucking Green Day. Also, I love how they made a demon wear a turban in that clip I just played. Also, the show completely makes fun of Asmongold.
The corporatists that own it and their loyal propagandists in the news media want you to blame the Russians. How stupid do they think we are, folks? Huh? This was a strike against God himself, carried out by a sophisticated network of terrorist demons from hell.
Horrible representation, 0 out of 10. There was no roaches on the walls, and there was no rat in the room. Terrible, awful, horrible representation, 0 out of 10. So, all in all, you fumbled. You fumbled the bag. With the right game series and with the right amount of passion and truly intricate understanding of what it is you're adapting, I'm sure you can do wonders, because Castlevania was amazing, and it's just, you just don't understand Devil May Cry. You really don't understand it. And I think it's crucial when adapting any video game, or just anything in general, that you need to have an intricate understanding with. You need to have some of the most respect you can have for any source material, because you know you're going to piss off fans. You know you're going to divide fans, and this is exactly what you did. You divided so many fans. So do I recommend the show to all the casuals?
No. No.
All in all, if you're a fan, you're going to hate this. If you're a casual, you're probably going to enjoy it. It might introduce you to the series, who knows. But for the most part, just play the games. They're infinitely better. Just play the games. Anyway, I'm going to go play the special edition of Devil May Cry 5 now to wash the taste out of my mouth. See ya!